right? There's noise because. Should I start? Okay. Namayam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Okay, I'm now going to read the translation to this bhajan,
Who's it by?
which is by Lochan Das Thakur. The noble Lord Nityananda is never angry, for he is the personification of supreme transcendental bliss. Devoid of any concept of false ego, Nitai wanders about the town, going from door to door in the residences of the most fallen and wretched souls. He freely distributes the gift of the Harinam Mahamantra. He exclaims to whomever he sees while holding straw between his teeth, "Please purchase me by worshipping Gaura Hari." Saying thus, Nityananda Prabhu rolls about on the ground, appearing like a golden mountain tumbling in the dust. Lochan Das Thakur says, whoever has not experienced the awakening of affection for such an avatar as this, that sinful person simply comes and goes uselessly in the cycle of repeated birth and death.
Jai Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Panihati festival ki Jai. So next will be Amrita, and Amrita will be held by Okay. Hare Krishna. So we thank everybody for joining. Today we are having the virtual celebration of Panihati festival. The another name of this Panihati festival is called Danda Mahotsav, Festival of Punishment. So today we'll hear from His Grace Pran Govind Prabhu from Florida. May I know if Pran Govind Prabhu is online now with us? Oh, Prabhuji is saying that Zoom is not open, so he didn't get the right Zoom link. Let me text him the right link. If you can bear with me 1 minute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Pranam, Prabhu.
Raghav Chaitanya Prabhu, is he online now? Oh, his guest Pran Govind Prabhu is with us. Sorry, Prabhu, I thought Roshikanda Prabhu have sent to the link. We apologize for this inconvenience. And
It's
I have
okay,
the
Prabhu.
video of the Kirtan that I will share with you personally. It is our pleasure to welcome His Grace Pran Govind Prabhu to speak about the Panihati festival. Prabhuji is very scholarly in the Vaishnava teachings, and he's also, he was very close to His Holiness Srila Bhaktisari Swami Guru Maharaj, especially at his final time, or Prabhuji did the final rituals for Maharaj in Florida. Other than that, Prabhuji is he's a very exalted Vaishnava. He is waiting for his sannyas in the Gauriya Vaishnava tradition. So without further ado, Prabhuji, please go ahead and shed light about the significance of Panihati festival. We'll go till 8:15, and 8:15 we will have a Narsingh Arati. That time I would like to our Northwest, one of the Bhakti Vriksha group in the Cypress area in Houston, we are also celebrating Panihati festival at our home. So we'll show our altar when we sing Narsingarati. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Am I audible, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
How do I see it? I see myself only there. Okay. Om Jnanati Mirandhasya Gyenanjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Hayam Dadati Sra Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Nitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Simate Bhakti Vedanta Samini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnabadi Pasyat Deshatarine Vancha Kalpataruvesya Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavunebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Adaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. First of all, I'm very grateful to be here, and I appreciate Rashikendra Prabhu and Kamala Mukha Prabhu and all of you to engaging me in this service so I can purify my heart, also I can serve you all. And I'm eternally grateful to Srila Prabhupada for making this wonderful ISKCON, Krishna Consciousness Society, that where Sadhu Sangha is available all over the world, anytime almost. So this is wonderful, and I'm eternally grateful to Srila Prabhupada for that. And I'm also very grateful to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das Goswami, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Raghav Pandit Prabhu, and all the assembled devotees in Panihati festivals. And I'm also appreciating you all, those who are listening. You're taking your valuable time. I hope you all can bless me and pray for me, so some wonderful realization that can come through at the right way that affects your consciousness, that you can come closer to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. With that note, I would like to say that because of the time, I'm just concerned how to relate, because Panihati festival has a many aspects. But most important, that this festival that we observe, Srila Jiva Goswami Pad writes that on the appearance, disappearance, or those festival days, those great personalities that manifested these festivals for our benefit, they are still in this in spiritual world, actually watches who observe those festivals, and they bless us from the spiritual domain. So it's wonderful that today actually Raghunath Das Goswami in Golok Vrindavan and Nityananda Prabhu Mahaprabhu actually watching all those devotees in Houston, Alachua, everywhere, they're talking about Panihati festival, and they actually feel very happy. So we should be very joyful in that pursuance. So I have found that Raghunath Das Goswami's this Chiradohi festival is very significant. Of course, you all heard this festival, I'm sure, many, many times. This is not something new. I'm sure you read many times probably. But what surprises me, because in early 80s, my regional secretary in Mayapur was not as big as now. Mayapur was still a village. There is not much building or anything beside our ISKCON temple and Gaudiya Math few temple. So our regional secretary, I remember every year we would go to Calcutta and buy some chipped rice, a big quantity, and we would take it to Panihati Raghav Pandit's house, and we would arrange a big festival. So it was their mercy that they engaged me, and I still remember a lot. And even how to buy what kind of chipped rice was very details. Even though Maharaj was born in America, but he some other came to learn, even with the flat rice or chipped rice, there's many varieties. And some chipped rice can be soaked in a water within a moment, the moment it comes in contact with water. But some chipped rice are not completely flattened, so it takes a long time. But I don't know in America how many chipped rice you get. I'm not sure. At least in Alachua temple, I don't see that much, very rare I see here. But probably you all have experience in Houston about chipped rice. And I believe Komalamukha Prabhu or your house somewhere, they are actually made chipped rice. They're going to.
We did on Sunday for our congregation and for Radha Nilamadava.
Oh, okay.
We also distributed prasadam on Sunday because people come to the temple. But today we are doing only virtual program.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
All right, that's wonderful. So in Raghunath Das Goswami's life, we can learn many wonderful things that which is relevant to our life. Immature practice in spiritual life, also mature practice, and how this transformation take place. Many things were exhibited by Raghunath Das Goswami. So I'll just focus on a few concepts. One was that when Raghunath Das Goswami, it's applicable to all of you. He was a little boy. The best thing in our life we can do, associate with those devotees who are actually displaying Krishna consciousness as a most joyful in their life, like Prabhupada and sincere followers of Prabhupada. Why? Because it is very contagious. Contagious in a sense that Raghunath Das Goswami, as you know, in his childhood life, he was not a spoiled brat, but he was born in that golden spoon family, that anything he ever wanted, he would immediately get it without even delay. For an example, he wanted he just heard about unicorn. And by the time he asked the father about what is unicorn, I'm sure everybody is familiar with unicorn, the sheep with the little horn, and his father immediately made. So he was literally like grow up in that affluent, rich family in that area of Bengal. And he would have many servants. Anytime he goes outside, that they would put a flower petal, soft petal, so that he doesn't have to step on a dirt. He was so well taken care by his parents. So for him, how is possible that he came to such a great renunciation, exemplary in our life? It is not by so much of how you are born or what you have. It's by who you associate with. So he had two famous guru in his early life. One was Jadunandan Acharya, who is a disciple of Advaita Acharya, and Balaram Acharya. Both are great soul. Balaram Acharya, actually, they are eternal associate of Mahaprabhu. So Balaram Acharya actually one time mentioned to Raghunath Prabhu's parents, that there is a great sadhu visiting here. So then they inquire about him, and then they mention that his name is Haridas Thakur. Now, when we serve our senior devotee visiting in our house or in our temple nearby, it's very interesting how this affects. When we have a service attitude to actually serve the devotee and listen from that devotee who is actually a very advanced level, whatever that person says, it is going to affect in our consciousness. How it is going to affect, it's very mystical. In due course of time, we'll see. So Raghunath Das Goswami, when he was brought, he was a small boy, and he was brought in front of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was not so much showing his interest of what are the gifts Raghunath Das Goswami's parents sent. They sent so much gold, clothes, golden plates, and all kinds of gifts. He looked at once, but he said, "Where is the boy?" Then he was looking at the boy, he was talking to Raghunath Das Goswami, and he actually gave a blessing, wonderful blessing. But Balaram Acharya, he knew the secret that his parents, those who are parents listening, generally we have that attachment to the children, that you want your children to have a material and spiritual, both success, not just spiritual. So Raghunath Das Goswami's parents also were feeling always that my son should become better than where we are. So at that time, Raghunath Das Goswami was paying obeisances to Haridas Thakur, and Haridas Thakur touched his head. And as he touched his head, he gave a blessing. He said, "I bless you. You remain detached and become attached to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. You became detached from the material sense gratification and become attached to Lord Chaitanya." But the way he said it, and with the feeling, it affected, even though Raghunath Das Goswami just a little boy. But what happened, nobody heard it from Haridas Thakur's mouth, because Balaram Acharya sneezed very loudly. And the reason he sneezed loudly, because he didn't want his parents to know about it, because they will not be happy. So when later on, of course, his parents asked, "So what did Haridas Thakur give blessing to our son?" So I said, "Oh, we could not hear. He gave blessing, he was happy, he was smiling. But when he spoke, and Balaram Acharya sneezed so loud that we could not. But Balaram Acharya heard. So then he said what they need to hear. He said, "Oh, he blessed him that he will possess the possessor of the entire world." Of course, the wording he said such a way that Govardhan Majumdar and Hiranya Majumdar, two brothers, uncle and father, they heard it in a way that, "Oh, we are already so rich, so our son will become more rich than us." So that was kind of giving them happiness. So Raghunath Das Goswami, from his childhood, he has this. When somebody has this kind of attachment to Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet and detachment from this material world, they are called pure devotee. Generally, we have 4 categories people in this world. If someone has a detachment from Krishna and detachment from the world, I'm sure you all know what they are called. They are called impersonalist. When somebody has a detachment from Krishna and attachment to the material world, they are called materialist. So Raghunath Das Goswami was attached to Lord Chaitanya and detached from the material world. They are called pure devotee. So he exhibited this and he demonstrated more as he grew. And this festival, that Panihati Chiradahi festival, and demonstrate that. So when before that, you probably heard that how Raghunath Das Goswami first met Mahaprabhu in Santipur. Santipur, after Mahaprabhu took sannyas, Nityananda Prabhu tricked, as you know, and he came there. And Raghunath Das Goswami happened to be there also. And Raghunath Das Goswami, when he met, Mahaprabhu teaching was very interesting, very applicable to our life. We can, that he says, Sthir haiya ghare jao na ho batul, krame krame pai log bhava sindhuku. In our spiritual life, we do not need to impose on others about our belief or our culture or our faith. Rather, we should develop that strong faith inside, in our consciousness, but externally we should act the way people will reciprocate nicely and respectfully. Mahaprabhu even says, Batul. Batul means madman. They act, means without thinking, they act. Sthir haiya ghare jao na ho batul. Krame krame pai lok. And gradually, Krishna will deliver each of us. And he told this to Raghunath Das Goswami. So Raghunath Das Goswami, this way, he was not so satisfied because there is some immaturity on that renunciation is there. Very interestingly, something was taught there. The Raghunath Das Goswami, first thing he developed from his childhood, Srila Prabhupada also said in first canto, 6th chapter, when Vyasdev asked to his guru, Narad Muni, that how does he remember everything about spiritual life and his previous life teachings. He said all the lesson that we learn is never lost. And in that purport, Prabhupada says every member of ISKCON, they should develop these 2 things, that they should learn the philosophy such a way that no doubt should ever enter in their mind, in their consciousness. So we need to learn this philosophy such a way that we cut down all the doubts and we can remain detached from this world. If you do these 2 things, same thing Raghunath Das Goswami did, then success is guaranteed. It was very nice the way Prabhupada wrote it. So first thing Raghunath Das Goswami developed from his childhood was the detachment. Detachment doesn't mean that you don't care. You have a responsibility. Mahaprabhu had a responsibility. Mahaprabhu was exhibiting detachment, but he was very responsible. Even as in the Radha Rani's mood in Gambhira, he was expressing, but during the day he was conversing that Shivananda Sen should take care of the finance of Vasudev Datta, who is such a elevated. So was he completely aloof from the worldly things? No, he was not aloof. He was very careful about how each devotee maintained their livelihood, their lifestyle. We have to be careful how to balance both. So similar thing Mahaprabhu told to Raghunath Das Goswami. But one thing Raghunath Das Goswami had, that he was very firmly fixed in his spiritual path. Challenges has come many times. He wanted to leave home to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is a great ideal. That's true. But he was unable to do so. And he tried many times to run away, as Prabhupada writes and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes. seeing his tendency to leave home, his father, uncle engaged bodyguard to watch over him. He escaped in the dark one night. Sometime he would go away, and then his father was bringing him back. So this way it was going back and forth. Then they were trying to tie him up with a most attractive attraction available in this world, like a wealth and the wife, most beautiful wife. So he was also arranged. What wonderful thing in Panihati, that surrender. The definition of surrender of Raghunath Das Goswami was manifested there. Just because he met and he has a desire to serve was not enough. The surrender is the biggest component in service. So Raghunath Das Goswami, what I see that he displayed, that Nityananda Prabhu was staying with his associate in Panihati, in the village of Raghav Pandits, and he decided to meet, Raghunath Das Goswami decided to meet Nityananda Prabhu. Taking his father's permission, he reached Panihati. I'm sure you all read the story wonderfully, that how he did not want to come very close because Nityananda Prabhu's effulgence, his entourage, and he was such a wonderfully sitting under the beautiful tree on a bank of, is still there today. I went there a couple years back, and I was very surprised that the ISKCON Bhakti Charu Maharaj actually has a temple nearby, and devotees are cultivating congregation there, and devotees are very active there, and they wonderfully following Maharaj's order. So there Nityananda Prabhu displayed a wonderful, he literally, as you know, he called him a thief. Thief in a sense, thief has a two meaning. A thief in Bengal or Bengali language is called chor. Chor means that there is a two meaning, means you are taking something without my permission. So what was Raghunath Das Goswami taking something that was not permitted? Was the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. That nobody can actually get direct connection of Sambit and Ladini potency. In order to perform devotional service, in order to make our life successful, we need to take shelter of Guru. Why? Because Guru gives the connection of that Suddha Sattva. And Nityananda Prabhu is the predominating deity of Suddha Sattva. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a combination of Radha and Krishna, and Radharani is the predominating deity of Ladini potency, pleasure potency. And Krishna is the predominating deity of Sambit potency. Without these three potency, our life cannot be successful. Srila Prabhupada even said 7.99 Madhya-lila, he said that devotees are preaching all over the world, delivering thousands of people. Lord Chaitanya also did that. What does that mean, delivering people? When Nityananda Prabhu delivered Raghunath Das Goswami, what does that mean? Prabhupada asked that question and he answered in the purport. Means, Katakkan rahi Prabhu tare alingiya, bidai karila tare sakti sancharila. That the initiation means the empowerment comes in you. When you associate, when you surrender to a personality, what about the Shakti they have, Krishna Shakti? It has to connect you. And then when you are in connection with Suddha Sattva, then the Sambit, relationship and feeling from Krishna will appear to you. So Raghunath Das Goswami went to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly without Sandhini potency. Sandhini potency is Raghunath, Nityananda Prabhu direct. He is the predominating deity. So there Nityananda Prabhu said, hey, chor, you're thief, you're trying to steal Lord Chaitanya without meeting me, without my mercy. That was another hidden meaning by Anubhashya of Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. So Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu there, he punished him in a sense that, okay, in order to get out of that illegal activity that you tried to steal, Lord Chaitanya belongs to me, but you tried to steal without my permission. and now you have to feed all the Vaishnavas. This is a wonderful, actually. We should get this kind of punishment. Or we can do voluntarily. If each of us can learn how to serve and respect each devotee according to their respective position, not like everybody is equal. We are not that kind of devotee. We should respect each devotee according to their respective position, and we should actually serve. You know, Raghunath Das Goswami, what he did, he not only, Nityananda Prabhu gave him the access of that service. So he, of course, went and brought all this cheap rice. He personally went also with all his servants, the security guard that his parents gave, not knowing that they will be engaged actually serving the Vaishnavas. Such a wonderful Raghunath Das Goswami, not only getting benefited himself, but he's engaging all the bodyguard, the brahmanas, the servants. Everybody went to nearest village and bought all this cheap rice. Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Antalila chapter 6 gives a whole chapter, elaborate explanation about this. Wonderful. And there are two types of preparation were the most important, repeated. One types of preparation, the cheap rice. Well, I don't know in America, the cheap rice, but in India, when you buy the cheap rice, make sure you wash it. Just very quick wash, and then you put it in a yogurt. And then you mix it with a banana or sugar. Chini is mentioned there, that sugar was there, gur, they were there, camphor was there. Then another one was that they also cleaned that cheap rice and then washed it, in other words, and then mixed with it the condensed milk, and then also paste it like a mix with the bananas and also some gur, and you have some camphor, not the camphor what we think of camphor of lighting lamp, not this camphor. There's a origin camphor does not come from chemical. It's a natural grown from the banana trunk under. But nowadays, I don't think it's available that easy. The camphor that we have, we should not mix that. I hope we know that. So this way, he actually created such a huge quantity of prasadam that he offered this to Nityananda Prabhu. And of course, Nityananda Prabhu's intimate followers, they all sat down around Nityananda Prabhu, and there was a huge festival. And I don't know if any one of you listening that went to that place, Panihati, near the river Ganges.
We did, Prabhu. My family, we did.
Oh, wow, wonderful. You're fortunate, Prabhu.
Pararit Prabhu, you did. I have devotees at my house right now listening your katha. Two families from our Bhakti Vriksha group. And I believe they also did. So, yes, it is amazing, Prabhu.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. You all are very fortunate. Please bless me. This is wonderful. So Nityananda Prabhu allowed this. And then Raghunath Das Goswami, of course, extended this. Devotee gathered so much, as you know, in that Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that they filled up with there was no room under the tree anymore, and the land, they went to the bank of Ganges. Even there was room all filled up by hundreds and hundreds of devotees, thousands. Then they started honoring in the water, in the Ganges water. They are standing there honoring the prasadam because shortage of place. Of course, you can say that why Nityananda Prabhu is the predominating deity of existential potency. He could expand. Yes, he can expand, but to make it more relishable, to see this exciting, all the neighborhood villages came. This way, actually, Nityananda Prabhu delivered all those villages, neighboring villages. Nityananda Prabhu, another one thing he did always, he created a tricky way of preaching that actually broke the pride of the Brahmanas. For an example, like he infused the Muslims who was going carrying the vegetable and everything with the Krishna Prem. And they were crying for Krishna, and seeing these Brahmanas were like very surprised. Nityananda Prabhu purposely did this in that neighborhood. Uddar Datta Thakur was there in his village also. He also allowed all the Matajis to dress him like Mr. T. If you're in America, I'm sure you heard the Mr. T means loaded with jewelry. So there was all the gold merchants, ladies, they dressed him. Nityananda Prabhu attracted everybody. It was a very astonishing, this wonderful pastimes took place. So this way, Raghunath Das Goswami fed every devotee. Then, of course, Raghav Pandit had a preparation to feed Nityananda Prabhu, but then Nityananda Prabhu said, I am a coward boy, Balaram, and I love to enjoy this festival with the coward boys. So I'll come in the night, evening to your home and honor the prasadam. Now so this way they enjoyed that feast. And then in the evening, Nityananda Prabhu went there, and there was another big festival took place, and everybody took prasadam. And Raghunath Das Goswami was so wonderfully explained that he knew the art of serving Vaishnava. It's not only feeding the Vaishnavas, actually talking to the Vaishnavas, making them feel very welcome. And Raghunath Das Goswami went to each devotee and he paid obeisances. He spoke to him briefly. I don't know how he did to thousands of people. And then he actually gave some gift, donation. He spoke to Raghav Pandit about it, and Raghav Pandit explained this, how he can do it. And he gave some gold, something like this. I'm sure you all have an experience when you go to somebody's house. In India, at least in my brahmachari life, in Calcutta, we used to go to some life member's house and they would feed us, give us a dhoti. It was a big deal for the brahmacharis to get a new dhoti. I remember we would talk about it. And they would give us some 10 rupees, or those days 10 rupees was a lot of money in early 80s. And so 10 rupees or 20 rupees, and all the brahmachari would get this every week whenever we were invited to some life member's house. So then it reminded me how Raghunath Das Goswami knew this wonderful way of serving Vaishnava. Give them some donation, what they need. He would ask them if they're okay, how they will go back home. Such a wonderful, it's like unbelievable the way he served. This way he draw the attention of all the Vaishnava to give mercy to him. Nityananda Prabhu, Guru doesn't mean Guru alone. Guru means Gurus, all the Vaishnavas, including in that. So Raghunath Das Goswami exhibited that. And then finally, the topics was that how he dependence on the mercy of spiritual master. Raghunath Das Goswami displayed that too. How did he do it? That, as you know, after Nityananda Prabhu gave him blessing next day, Nityananda Prabhu placed his feet, lotus feet, on his forehead. Actually, Raghunath Das Goswami was grabbing Nityananda Prabhu's feet. Then Nityananda Prabhu allowed him to lift it up and put it on his head. So Nityananda Prabhu actually put his feet on his head. Both way explained. So then Nityananda Prabhu, after blessing so much, then he blessed him that you will get. Now, it's very interesting. When you ask for blessing from a Nityananda Prabhu or another Vaishnava, be very specific. Raghunath Das Goswami did not say, I just want blessing. He said, I want blessing that I could serve the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya without difficulty. It was very specific, without difficulty, because he went through difficulty. So that from that moment, actually his life, the road to serve Mahaprabhu was clear. Because when he came home, within a few days, as you know, his guru, Jadunandan Acharya, who actually had some problem of his pujari, and pujari ran away. So middle of the night, he came to Raghunath Das Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami from that day, he did not go inside the big palace. He slept in Durga Mandap. They had a Durga, I guess, a Durga temple, and there was a courtyard. There's a Nath Mandir, and there's some Kirtan hall. And Raghunath Das Goswami would sleep there only. He never went to inside the other house because he was married that time. He didn't want to associate with her. So that night, that was a very nice. That Jadunandan Acharya, when he came, and Raghunath Das Goswami said, "Oh, sure, I'll go and convince the Pujari to come back." He said, "Please come, otherwise how the Mangalarti and morning program will begin?" So the guard, they did not doubt much. Okay, this is some emergency, let him go. In the middle of the night, they were also tired. I guess they didn't follow him much. So he went all the way to Jadunandan Acharya's house, and then he spoke to the Pujari. And then he told his guru, "You go home and you'll come back tomorrow and you'll take care. I'll talk to him very nice." So after he spoke to Pujari, not that he neglected. It seems like one place it says it's neglected. But actually, I traced it. I found it. No, he did actually went to Pujari, and he convinced him to go back to his service. But he did not return home. He just took a shortcut road in 12 days to reach. So that was the mercy of his guru. So these are the key points, what I understood, that Raghunath Das Goswami had a wonderful example. He demonstrated for us what is detachment, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Jogam. What is Vairagya Vidya means? He exhibited that, and he demonstrated how we can also follow that. And then he also demonstrated what is determination in spiritual path we need. He never deviated, even though big challenge came. He was even arrested when he was a young boy by the Muslim Chaudhuri. And his father, uncle, they escaped. But the way he, some or other, never complained, never doubted his determination. He always were fixed. And the third point also, he was exhibiting complete surrender. What is surrender means? It's a conscious choice. I like the way Prabhupada said. He says, renunciation is the result of genuine spiritual emotion. Such a wonderful. We need to develop not renunciation. We need to develop spiritual emotion. Because bhakti, Krishna consciousness, does not sustain on tribulation or mental emotion. Oh, I feel good, I'll chant, I'll go to temple. I don't feel good. That devotee says something, I won't do it. That's not Raghunath Das Goswami did. Raghunath Das Goswami displayed that devotion sustained by determination. And that determination comes from inner connection with Krishna, with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that was a wonderful exhibition. And then he also demonstrated that by serving the Vaishnavas, not only Guru, Nityananda Prabhu, but other Vaishnavas, respecting other Vaishnavas, the life, the struggle becomes easy and heart softens, and wonderfully we'll receive the ultimate goal. And then finally, dependence. Surrender means dependence on Guru's mercy. And finally, he got that from Jadunandan Acharya. And finally, of course, as you know, he went to Jagannath Puri and he served Mahaprabhu whole life in union. And at the end, Mahaprabhu left in separation, he served. So both way he pleased. Okay, I have a 1 minute, if any reflection or discussion or anything.
Does anyone has question? You can ask Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very nice. Thank you so much for your association in the class. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, do you have a question? Raghav Chaitanya Prabhu?
Can I ask a question myself? What did you get from this discussion that you can you will be taking with you, because the Harikatha or lesson in Vaishnavism does not end by the end of the class. It goes eternally.
The
Can I
surrender
have
is,
a one? Can I have
yes,
a one feedback?
yeah, the surrender, Prabhu. Surrender, which you mentioned about the surrendering. That's what I can.
Very nice. Thank you. No other feedback? Okay, then we can end here.
We also learned that if we provide prasadam to Vaishnavas, we should also give dakshina or donation, right, Prabhuji? That as he did,
Yes.
he gave. I think if in Chaitanya Bhagavat, I believe I read that Raghunath Das Goswami gave gold coins to all the main associates of Nityananda Prabhu. Also, one bag of gold coin he gave to Raghav Chaitanya, and he told him, when I leave, then you, I don't know if I'm mistaken, they give to the Lord.
Nityananda.
Yes.
He said,
So,
after I leave. Yes.
something like that, I believe.
No,
He
no,
told
it's
Raghav
true.
Chaitanya,
It's
yeah.
true. It's in Antolila also, chapter 6. Hint is given. Very nice. This is a one way so that Nityananda Prabhu may reject. But that rejection idea is gone, because he said, after I leave, you give. And Raghav Pandit was so wonderfully accepted, and he actually gave it to Nityananda Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes.
Thank you for your time, and I do apologize about not providing you the Zoom link. I had the impression that Roshikanda Prabhu already gave, and I was told that I should do the MC. I apologize to your.
No, it was wonderful, Prabhu. No problem.
Yeah,
I
you
actually
wanted to hear
enjoyed.
Kirtana. Two Kirtaniyas today is Kanai and Amrita. They sang, and they are part of our Northwest Bhakti Vriksha group. And if there is
I'll
no
join sometime, Prabhu. I'll join sometime to hear Kirtan.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Apparently, it's my family program. We also organize little bitty offering today. So while we are having, I think Kanu is going to sing now, Narsingh Arati, 5 minutes. In that 5 minutes, they will be showing my altar, and you can see the
Wonderful.
the offering. And
Thank you.
we need you. Please bless us, bless our children, bless our family, bless this community, and all the Bhakti Vriksha devotees here. And
I'll definitely pray for all of
come
you.
to visit us, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. I'll definitely visit, and I'll definitely pray for all of you. You all are wonderful devotees. Thank you. Bancha kalpataruvesya kipa sindhavevaccha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo.
His grace,
Prabhu, I'll be
Pran
watching your
Govind,
Nishingadev temple altar.
Yes, Prabhu.
I'll be glad to watch the Nishingadev altar you have.
I mean, Nishing Arati, my daughter Kanu is going to sing Nishing
Okay.
prayer, but and then while doing that, can Bolai, can you take the webcam to show the altar while she's singing? And then we'll end the program.
If possible, Prabhu, don't do too
Sure.
much. If possible. Okay. Oh, wow. Big. You have a beautiful altar, Prabhu.
Well, I show the pots that we offer. Yes, show him the pots. Yes, good. That's good.
Oh, big feast. Big altar.
श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की, श्री श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय, श्री रघुनाथ दास गोस्वामी की जय, Panihati festival की. So we thank His Grace Damodar Sharan Prabhu for being the host, Zoom host for ISKCON of Houston, and we thank all the Kirtaniyas and all the participants who joined this program. And I hope you will join our future program organized by ISKCON of Houston. And special thanks to His Grace Pran Govind Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada ki. So that will be the end of the program. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.